Which Roman emperor built a wall across the north of England to keep out the Scottish? Which queen reigned for just 9 days in 1553? And what year did the Great Fire of London occur? These are the kinds of questions you might face at a British pub quiz, and if you got all three correct, then you're doing better than most. Today we're looking at the British pub quiz, one of the most beloved social traditions in the country, how it works, what happens on the night, the role of the Quizmaster, and the wonderfully terrible pun-based names that British teams give themselves. There's also a dictation at the end and a 10-question general knowledge quiz so that you can test yourself. Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's get into it. And if you find this useful, hit subscribe. There's a new video every Thursday. Let's do it. Today, we are going to be talking about a very interesting and cultural aspect of Britain, which is the British pub quiz. Yes, 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 yes. The British pub quiz. Now, everybody likes a British pub, I'm sure, but have you ever been to a British pub quiz? Question. You can tell me here in the chat. I'd be interested to know. Because pub quizzes are a much loved British tradition. They're usually held in local pubs once a week, and they bring friends and family and even strangers. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for people to test their knowledge on everything from history to geography to pop culture and even sport, politics. The atmosphere is normally very friendly, but also competitive. And usually there is a quizmaster, and the quizmaster will read out the questions with a microphone. And it's not just about winning prizes, it's also about sharing laughs, about debating answers, maybe enjoying a couple of pints, definitely enjoying a couple of pints on the way. And in many communities, the pub quiz has become a kind of social ritual. Now, one of the fun aspects of pub quizzes is that people often come up with amusing names for their teams. And people try to be as funny as possible with their team names. So, for example, Agatha Christie, the Quizzly Bears. That would be a typical bit of British humour for you. No idea. In other words, a deer with no I, or no idea. What's the answer? No idea. I am Smarticus. I'm Smarticus. I'm Smarticus. I'm Brian, and so's my wife. Trivia Newton-John. Les Quizerables. Sorry to any French people there. Quiztima Aguilera. That's a good one though. Come on, then. Quiztima Aguilera instead of Christina. Christopher Columbus and Tequila Mockingbird. There you go. That's the British humour for you. And of course, a lot of people think it's more fun coming up with a great name for their team rather than actually winning the pub quiz. So I thought to start, why not have a short pub quiz? I could ask you a few questions and you can try to answer them. How about that? Now I'm thinking, what's the best way to do this? I don't want it to become like a battle to who can answer first. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn the comments off. Okay, I'll show you the questions and you can either answer them in your head or you can write them down. But I think you can just answer them in your head. Okay, I'll show you some questions. I'll give you 20 seconds for each one and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, just before we do the dictation. How about that, guys? Yeah, bit of general knowledge. So let's do it. Question number one. Which Roman emperor is credited with building a defensive wall across the north of England? Okay, so which Roman emperor is credited with building a defensive wall across the north of England? Okay, question number 2. Which English king signed the Magna Carta in 1215? Okay. Which English king signed the Magna Carta in 1215? Long time ago. That's in 1215, not at 1215. It wasn't that recent. Question number 3. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the UK? The first female Prime Minister of the UK. First female Prime Minister of the UK. And we move on to question number 4. What year did the Great Fire of London occur? The Great Fire of London. Anno Mirabilis. I believe also the Great Plague and many other terrible things happened in that year. The clue is in the number. Yeah. In what year did the Great Fire of London occur? And we move on to the next question, which is, which Scottish poet is celebrated annually on the 25th of January with Burns Night? So which Scottish poet is celebrated annually on the 25th of January with Burns Night? Okay, that's got nothing to do with firework night. Everybody getting burnt. So which poet? Okay, and we move on to the next question. It's like a life in the UK test, this. Question number 6. Which queen reigned for just 9 days in 1553? Which queen reigned? That's exactly the same pronunciation as reigned. For just 9 days in 1553. Okay, we move on to the next question, which is, what's the name of the UK's intelligence agency responsible for domestic security? What's the name of the UK's intelligence agency responsible for domestic security? Okay. And the next question, we got 10 questions altogether. Which battle of 1066 marked the Norman conquest of England? Which battle of 1066 marked the Norman conquest of England? That's the Normans from France. It wasn't a group of men called Norman. That would be ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. And the penultimate question. Which British scientist is best known for the theory of evolution by natural selection? That's an easy one. Come on. Easy one. And we get on to the final question. What was the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 designed to achieve? What was the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 designed to achieve? I haven't been sharing the screen, have I? I had all these written down for you. I've been reading them quite happily, and I meant to be showing you guys. Sorry. What a boomer. Okay, I'll get them back up. Look, I made all these nice slides, and I thought I was sharing them, and I wasn't. Anyway, let's do it. Okay, so number 1, the answer is the Emperor Hadrian with an H. Okay, Hadrian. Yes, Hadrian's Wall, of course, in the north of England to keep the Scottish out. It's still there, but it hasn't worked. What else have we got? Next one. Number two, which English king signed the Magna Carta in 1215? The next one is King John. King John, yeah, great. In my opinion, one of the best kings um, that there was. Yeah. Next one. Who was the first female prime minister in the UK? That was Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. Okay. No, it's not Charter. It's Magna Carta. No, Magna Carta. Um, so Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher didn't sign the Magna Carta. That was King John. Next question. In what year did the Great Fire of London occur? And that was 1666. 1666. Terrible year, really, all round for people. Um, Next question. So which Scottish poet is celebrated? That's actually Robbie Burns. Robbie Burns, which is pretty obvious by the name. Number six, which queen only reigned for 9 days in 1553? That was Lady Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey. Next question. This is the MI5. The MI5. Not to be confused with MI6, who are responsible for foreign intelligence. Okay. Number eight is the Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings, where Harold was shot in the eye by someone. And question number nine, the answer is Charles Darwin. And the final one, question number 10, it was peace in Northern Ireland. Peace in Northern Ireland. How many did you get right out of 10? Tell me in the chat. And in the meantime, you can get your pen and paper because we're going to start the dictation. Okay, if you got 6 or more, then you passed. You have the right to call yourself British. Your passport is on the way. Okay, so guys, let's get on with the dictation. I'll explain briefly how we do this. I'm going to read a short text of about 100 words on the subject of pub quizzes. I want you to listen and write exactly what I say. It's a good way for you to practice your listening, your writing, your spelling, and also to pick up some new vocabulary on the way. As always, I will read each part twice to give you a chance to write, listen, and fill in any gaps. And at the end, I'll read the whole text again so that you can double check what you've written. If you're all ready, give me a thumbs up and we can get started. Okie dokie. Here we go. The British pub quiz is more than a game. The British pub quiz is more than a game. Dash. It's a cultural ritual. It's a cultural ritual. Full stop. Every week, comma, teams gather in their local. Every week, comma, teams gather in their local. To pit their knowledge against rivals. To pit their knowledge against rivals. Comma. Fueled by camaraderie. fueled by camaraderie and the occasional pint. And the occasional pint. Full stop. Questions can range from highbrow history can range from highbrow history to quirky trivia. To quirky trivia, comma. And the atmosphere is a blend of competition and laughter. And the atmosphere is a blend of competition and laughter. Marcella, you put your hand up. Is there an issue? Full stop. For many, comma, the pub quiz represents both social. Okay. For many, comma, the pub quiz represents both social connection and intellectual challenge. An intellectual challenge, comma. A reminder that learning can be communal and fun. A reminder that learning can be communal and fun. Full stop. End of dictation. Okay, so I see. Okay, that's the end of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read the whole text again so that you can listen and fill in any gaps that you might have. And then I'll finish by showing you the text. Okay? Okay, let's do it. The British pub quiz is more than a game, dash. It's a cultural ritual, full stop. Every week, comma, teams gather in their local to pit their knowledge against rivals, comma, fueled by camaraderie and the occasional pint, full stop. Questions can range from highbrow history to quirky trivia, comma, and the atmosphere is a blend of competition and laughter, full stop. For many, comma, the pub quiz represents both social connection and intellectual challenge, comma, a reminder that learning can be communal and fun. Finished. That's it. How was your experience? Okay, let me show you the text. And this is what you should have had, or what you should have. The British pub quiz is more than a game, dash. I hope you didn't write dash, not D-A-S-H, please. Dash. It's a cultural ritual. Every week, teams gather in their local to pit their knowledge. Pit their knowledge is an expression for you. To pit. It's not put, it's pit. It's an expression. If you pit your knowledge against somebody, it basically means that you put your knowledge against somebody. Fueled by camaraderie and the occasional pint. This is how we spell camaraderie. Questions can range from highbrow history. So highbrow is kind of intellectual. This is what it means. You can talk about a highbrow book, for example, or something of that nature, a highbrow newspaper article. So it means intellectual, really. To quirky trivia, and the atmosphere is a blend of competition and laughter. Yes. For many,
The pub quiz represents both social connection and intellectual challenge, a reminder that learning can be communal and fun. How did you get on? So well done to all of you. And hopefully one day in the future, you might get an opportunity to take part in a British pub quiz. Who knows? It would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay. Bye, guys. Take care. Look after yourselves. Thank you very much.